our African setting, it's not easy to see men crying, and it's almost all around the world, not especially crying themselves silly. But in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 30, we come across some men who cried themselves. We are told until there was no strength left in them. When you actually picture that scene, you would see men who maybe are on the floor rolling, maybe tears coming out, mucus drooling from their nose because of what had happened to them. They were in anguish because their daughters and their children and their sons and their property, everything that was theirs had been taken away. And let me just pause and say, these were not soft men. David, let's talk about David for starters. David had killed a bear at this point. We are told with his bare hands, and a lion had faced Goliath. But something happened to his life that actually brought him to his knees. He was totally broken. He had lost everything that he had accumulated to this point. Him together with his men, the men he was trying to raise, and they were totally broken. And sometimes that is life. That we are strong, we are going on well, but something happens that totally devastates us. We feel like we cannot, rise from this one. Everything is lost, or at least we think everything is lost. I don't think at this point that the wife and the children of this man were not of David and his men were not. They had not died. The property had been destroyed, but I don't think they believed it was possible to get them back, because then they would not have cried as much as they did. I think they thought this was a totally hopeless situation. But what I like about the story, we are told, but David encouraged himself in the Lord. There is always a but to the situation. No matter how down you are, how downtrodden you are, how much you feel life is lost, there is always a but to that situation. And that is what was the situation of this man. After they had cried, we are told David encouraged himself in the Lord. How did that go about? We are not told exactly, but I'm thinking he went to God. For starters, he went to God. And maybe started with complaints. God, how could you allow this to happen? You know how fragile these men are. You know how hard we have worked. You've seen the turmoil I have gone through in this life after the victory you gave me with Goliath. Maybe he started with complaint. But maybe God started reminding him how he has walked with him. Maybe God telling him, don't you remember I'm the one who brought you from the ship's pen? I'm the one who enabled you to kill Goliath. I'm the one who caused you to escape the hands of Saul, who really wanted to destroy you. And maybe hope started to build. It built enough to that point where he actually thought, they can be a way out of this situation. I can actually advance and maybe attack this army that is mightier than I and recover. And actually he inquires of the Lord through the prophet and goes, and they get back their children and their wives to the glory of God. And so is it with your situation. If you go back to God, there can be a but to that situation. Even if it's as hopeless as death of somebody you truly loved, depended upon, they may not come back to life, but they can be a fulfill life after that. God can restore you so that you can live a full life after that. You don't have to drown in the grief. You don't have to drown in the failure. You don't have to drown in whatever is drowning you. Just remember, there can be a but to that situation. There was a but to these men who had cried themselves silly. God bless you.